One of the things, in addition to all the other things we're talking about interviewing spaces, how do we create spaces for us that are safe? And what I mean by safe here is that physically, if something escalates, the person becomes angry, how are we setting ourselves up for success? Well, a couple things to think about. The first is don't have this big heavy hammer in your office. What I mean by that is when you're thinking about physical security and meeting with people, look around your office for heavy things that someone in a fit of rage or anger might pick up and throw at you. And while you might not have a big smelting hammer and an anvil in your office, you know what a lot of academics have? Awards, glass awards, trophies, big heavy things. So think about this in terms of a weapon that might be heavy, that could do some damage. And likewise, if you were up late one night and fell prey to the I want to buy the $150 Tom's Big Bag of Goodies knife collection. This is the other piece here. So big and heavy is dangerous, sharp and pokey, also things that we want to avoid. So if you have this in your office, don't, because it's not good. So having sharp and pokey things. So you probably don't have Tom's Big Bag of Goodies level knife collection. However, do you have a letter opener? Do you have something that is, I had a dean of students once who loved Nepal. I also love Nepal. He brought back one of the knives from there, and he often had that knife in his office. It was something that he liked a lot. It was not seen as a weapon in his mind. It was seen as a keepsake from a fun trip. If someone's angry and pissed, however, how do they see that? Invite people into your space, creating those territorial spaces to say, welcome in, invite them in. I love giving them a choice of seating if that's optional, to let them know where they're going to be. But you want to sense that this is my space that I'm welcoming you into. That creates a good sense of boundaries. Likewise, you know your dirt, you know your office. It's one of the things we teach in our active shooter program, the importance here of knowing where you could exit from. Where are those exits? And understand that sometimes exits are not the things you think of. Sometimes exits are behind you. Think about that old airline thing. Sometimes exits are windows. So knowing if things get bad, how you could escape becomes very important. Don't want to be in the corner. A little dirty dancing joke. I also saw this Family Guy clip, which I really like, so I'm going to show it to you too.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I do, because I'm her father and she's 16. What are you, like 38?
41.
Sometimes our movies don't hold up over time in terms of the messaging there. Having a safety plan, understanding what you would do if something went awry. I'll tell you this, the time to develop a safety plan for your office safety is not in the middle of a crisis. You want to get out in front of these things. Amanda Ripley wrote a book related to the survival arc. Pretty easy to understand concept. Essentially, we want to, when something bad happens, like we hear a gunshot or a client stands up, and I don't know why I have scissors next to me, but I'm going to use them. It has like sharp scissors and starts gesturing. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to deny. We're going to be, that's not a gunshot. That's a car backfiring. Maybe they want me to open an envelope with the scissors. I don't know. We have a denial moment. We don't react right away. And the second part is deliberation. Like after we see something like that, that might be a danger, like maybe it was a gunshot. What should I do now that I think it's a gunshot? Should I go somewhere? They're blocking the door. What do I do now? They seem really angry. I think they're going to hurt me. So we have that deliberation phase. And we finally get to that decisive movement. So these are the three phases. So imagine again, like a car backfire. I don't know if it's a backfire or not. That's a deliberation. And then we finally say that was not a car backfire. It was a gunshot. I need to move. What the point is here is when we're thinking about our safety plan, we want to move past denial quickly. And we want to say if someone's reaching for a weapon or escalating, we need to move past that denial quickly. We don't want to get lost in our thoughts about what should we do and what are our options. We want to have a plan in place and execute that plan, move to where we need to be quickly. We want to get to that action phase. This is how we respond. If you were to, heaven forbid, get caught on fire, what do we all do?
Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll.
We stop, we drop, and we roll. And that is ingrained into us. If we hear thunder, We don't run out into the middle of a field with a big iron pole. We have trained ourselves to do something different in these scenarios. We teach this, again, in active shooting scenarios. With lockdown, barricade, we take steps and move through that survival arc quickly. So the point here in your office safety is have a plan, practice it, know what you're going to do when something bad happens, not wait and then think about the plan then. You want to get out ahead of these things. We always encourage panic buttons or alarms like these. Sometimes they're fixed underneath desks, so there are ways that people can trigger something in order to respond, to get some help coming your way. And knowing where your exits are, knowing how to escape, all of these things are included in this great handout. I'd encourage you to share all these handouts too with other folks. These are really useful things. This one's for a Title IX application, but this is really any office where you're having some of those difficult conversations.